Weighing in at 245 pounds, no class, Sam Bass. His opponent from Canton, Ohio, weighing in at 367 pounds, Sherman Tank.
I tell you what, this is going to be a big knockdown, drag-out brawl. And no other way to put it. You got no class Sam Bass and Sherman Tank.
Well, 367 pounds. Seems a little light.
And look at that, just throwing Sam Bass down like a rag doll.
Sherman Tank is one of those guys you do not want to meet in a dark alley.
Absolutely not. Sherman Tank, one of the toughest men in NWA Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. And let's not remember, Sherman Tank was at the inaugural event for NWA Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, and he stood toe-to-toe with the Black Superman Onyx and did not flinch. If Sam Bass thinks he's going to have an easy time in the park with Sherman Tank, it's not going to happen.
Well, Sam Bass definitely getting thrown off his game in the opening moments of this one. But you see, just like we talked about earlier with Acevedo, slowing things down to his pace. I want to say that Tank is the quicker man in this contest, but you get in there too quick with him, that power is going to flatten you.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, to the eyes.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Sam Bass go for what he calls Lucille, that cheater of a cowbell that he likes to use.
It's only cheating if you get caught.
Oh, and I tell you what, Ryan Newsy, a little bit absent out here. He's the other half of Outlaw Inc., this tag team made up with Sam Bass. Sam Bass, some great influences, Ron Bass, Black Bart, Dick Murdoch, and when trying to throw, Sherman Tank reverses though, and a great splash by the Tank.
He's got him up!
Big slam by Sherman Tank.
Big Sherman Tank, big elbow drop.
Even the referee looked impressed with the impact that elbow drop had.
Sherman Tank, the master of the spinning spine buster.
I still have trouble believing that Sherman Tank is only 367 pounds.
And he moves around like a much lighter man. Sherman Tank waiting his time, just biting it in the ring. And this is what makes him a top contender for that NWA Mid-Atlantic.
Well, that's not what makes him a top competitor. A little slip up there. You talk about him taking time? Let's talk about Sam Bass out there. He took his time. Sherman Tank made a mistake.
With a man Sherman Tank's size, taking the legs out is a pretty good strategy.
You got to take Sherman Tank off his vertical base. I mean, there is no other way around it. And Sam Bass is going to have to continue to do that. Sam Bass wasting a little too much time, in my opinion.
I'll grudgingly have to agree with you on that one. You got a man like Sherman Tank down there. Let's think about facts here. Sherman Tank, he is a large man. When he is down on that mat, that strength is neutralized. That power is neutralized. You have him where you want him. He has to work to move himself then.
Absolutely, and now those forearms by Bass, and Sherman Tank just quickly fighting out there.
Big elbows.
Yeah, just going to work right on the breadbasket continuously. Now gets him into the ropes, and Brandon Ashworth trying to do his job. Irish whip off the ropes. Ducks, misses the clothesline, and Bass with a boot of his own. And
looks like Sherman Tank's having some trouble with his knee.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that Sherman Tank and I talked about this morning at breakfast. Sherman Tank wrestling on an injured knee, and if Bass has done his homework, he knows that knee is injured.
Wait a second. Sherman Tank's dumb enough to talk about that? I mean, come on. Why would you openly talk about an injury knowing you have a match coming up?
Because the fact that Sherman Tank is such a fighter, he's not taking time off. He's not going to...
I'll have to go with Hensley here. Saying that in an interview is almost like hanging a sign on the particular body part that you're wanting your opponent to damage.
Thank you, Brian. I mean, really. You can talk about he has heart all you want, but really, that's just an idiotic move.
Well, he is a fighting man. I mean, he's not going to just sit back and rest on his laurels. And here's the thing, I believe he was going to attempt to try to get this match over quickly. He may have underestimated Bass a little bit, and he hasn't been able to use the power to his advantage like he's wanted to. And Bass just measuring him now and going back to work on that injured knee.
Obviously, Bass read the exact same information you read, Mr. Styles.
And Bass, I have no idea how he got that information, although there was a mischievous man.
Maybe he listened to your loud mouth.
Oh, why don't you just cut it a little bit, Steve? Let's call the action here.
You can start any time now.
No.
Calling that action?
Calling the action, yeah, and now he is. Brandon Ashworth trying to get Tank a moment of a break.
Got some fireworks going off in the background.
Got some fireworks going on in the ring tonight.
And I tell you what, we definitely got more action here for you. You're not going to want to go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. And look at Bass now taking out that wheel of Sherman Tank. And great chop block by Sherman Tank's opponent, Sam Bass.
And Sam Bass, he knows exactly what he's doing out there. You talked about that injury. Tank showed that injury. He ran his mouth about too much. He's paying the price for it right now. You tell Bass, hey, you know, I've got a weak spot here. You think he's the kind of guy that's going to shy away from going after it? You think he's the kind of guy that's going to say, well, you know, in the taste of good sportsmanship, maybe I shouldn't attack your injured body part. I mean, if you're an athlete in this business and you're in that ring injured, you are a fool to make it known.
By the looks of this match, it looks like Mr. Bass got a full doctor's report from Sherman Tank's knee specialist.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not surprised.
Ooh.
But look at Tank just fighting
Hard
back.
shots to the body.
He's still moving.
And a
right.
hard shot to the face.
Those big ham hocks of hands.
I think you can find his teeth back in the entrance ramp.
And I don't see the problem is though at this point now can Tank put any weight on that leg? Irish whip into the corner.
Well, Tank's going to run across the ring.
Oh, that
no,
knee is done.
He is not running across that ring.
Momentum shifted again just due to the injury.
Momentum didn't shift. Momentum fell flat on its face.
367 pounds with one knee is not going to stand.
And Bass just measuring Tank now.
And you can see the confidence on the face of Bass. He is feeling the moment right now.
Absolutely trying to measure him for that signature move, his lariat.
He's winding up. Sherman Tank's up on his feet.
And, but
Sherman Tank's standing tall.
and no, he does Irish whip and wow. And
big
there's that spine buster that Tank's known for. 1, 2, 3, that's it. That's all she wrote.
All it took was a 367-pound spine buster.
On one knee, picked him up, planted him down.
Bass wasted too much time there.
Now, can you tell me how we're going to get him back to the locker room?
I don't know. It's definitely going to take one of the trainers or maybe some of the wrestlers to come out and help. But just look how quickly that was.